Have you ever sat in a dark room watching a movie? The world outside fades away. The only thing that matters is the flickering light on the screen. You see a character, someone you have never met. This person is facing a great challenge, something that seems impossible to overcome. You feel your heart beat a little faster. You lean forward in your seat, holding your breath. You are not just watching a story, you are living it. You feel their fear, their hope, their courage, as if it were your own. That is the magic we are talking about today. This powerful connection happens everywhere, not just in theaters. It happens when a grandparent tells a tale from long ago. Their voice carries you back in time. It happens when you read a book. The words on the page build cities, and they build castles inside your mind. A quiet, personal moment that feels enormous. A single story can plant a seed of inspiration. It can give you strength to face your own challenges, or the wisdom to see the world in a new, beautiful way. This feeling is universal. It doesn't matter where you are from, or what language you speak, or how old you are. The pull of a good story is something we all share. Long before we had written words, we had stories. Our ancestors sat around campfires under a vast and starry sky. They shared tales of the hunt, they shared tales of the gods, they shared tales of the great heroes who came before them. These stories were not just for fun, they were tools for survival. They taught the next generation how to find food. They taught the next generation how to avoid danger. They taught the next generation how to live together as a tribe. Stories were our first teachers. Stories were our first history books. Stories were our first laws. This tradition is woven into our DNA. We are, as some have said, the storytelling animal. It is how we make sense of a world that can often seem chaotic and confusing. A story takes random events and puts them in order. It gives them a beginning, a middle, and an end. It shows us cause and effect. When you listen to a list of facts, only a small part of your brain gets to work. It is the part that handles language. It is the part that handles logic. It is like turning on a single light in a very large house. Facts. Few isolated dots. Story. Many interconnected lights. But when you listen to a story, something amazing happens. Your entire brain lights up. If a character in the story is running, the part of your brain that controls your legs becomes active. If they smell a delicious meal, your sensory cortex fires up. You are not just hearing the story, your brain is simulating the experience. This is a process called neural coupling. The storyteller's brain and the listener's brain start to synchronize. They mirror each other. It is a powerful form of connection that goes beyond words. The storyteller is not just giving you information, they are sharing an experience. Think about your own life. When you recall a memory, you do not just see a single image. You remember what happened before, what happened after, and how it made you feel. You are telling yourself a story. Our lives are a collection of these personal stories. Look at the world of movies. A film like The Shawshank Redemption is more than just a movie about a prison. It is a profound story about hope in the face of despair. We watch Andy Dufresne chip away at that wall for years, and we feel his patience, his quiet determination. His final escape is not just a victory for him, it feels like a victory for all of us, a testament to never giving up. Fairy tales passed down through generations carry this same power. Take the story of the tortoise and the hare. It is a simple tale, one we tell our children. But its message is deep and enduring. Slow and steady wins the race. This story teaches the virtue of persistence over arrogance. It is a lesson that stays with us our entire lives. Even the daily news relies on storytelling to capture our attention. A news report is not just a list of events. A good journalist finds the human story at the center of it all. They do not just report on a storm, they tell the story of a family who lost their home but were saved by the kindness of their neighbors. This is what connects with us. We may not understand the science of a hurricane, but we understand the fear of a parent protecting their child. We understand the relief of being helped in a time of need. Stories are mirrors, reflecting the truths of our own world back at us. They give us heroes to admire, villains to despise, and lessons to guide our way. There is a deep comfort in the familiar structure of many stories. We are drawn to tales of good versus evil for a very simple reason. They bring order to our world. Life can be complicated. Sometimes it is hard to tell who is right and who is wrong. But in a story, the lines are often drawn clearly. There is a hero we can cheer for, a villain we hope to see defeated. This clarity is satisfying. It provides a moral compass reinforcing our belief that good will ultimately triumph over darkness. We love our heroes. We love to see a single person stand up against injustice. Think of a classic flying hero silhouette or a lone archer fighting for freedom. These characters embody the qualities we admire: courage, selflessness, the will to do what is right no matter the cost. When we watch them succeed, we feel a sense of shared victory. Their strength gives us hope that we too can find strength within ourselves. Heroes show us the best version of ourselves, and oh, how we love a happy ending. After all the struggle, the conflict, the suspense, we want to see things turn out all right. We want to see the hero win. If I told you that kindness is important, you might nod and agree, but you might also forget it by tomorrow. What if I told you a story instead? A story about a poor man who shared his last piece of bread with a hungry stranger, and later, that stranger returned to save his life. You would remember that story for a very long time. The lesson about kindness is no longer just an idea. It is an experience etched into your memory through emotion and character. Our brains are not designed for spreadsheets, they are designed for stories. We see the incredible power of stories all around us every single day. A fact is a lonely piece of data. It has nothing to hold on to, but a story wraps that fact in a blanket of emotion, characters, events. It creates a rich network of connections in your brain. When you try to recall the information later, you have many paths to get there. You might remember the character's face, the feeling of suspense, the triumphant ending. All of these lead you back to the central message. Think about it this way: a story about a poor man who shared his last piece of bread with a hungry stranger. The lesson about kindness is no longer just an idea. It is an experience etched into your memory through emotion and character. At its very core, storytelling is an act of sharing. It is a bridge built between one soul and another. When I tell you a story, I am inviting you into my world. I am sharing my perspective, my emotions, my experiences with you. And when you listen, you are offering me your attention, your empathy. For that brief moment, we are connected. We are sharing a common experience, seeing the world through the same lens. This simple act creates a bond that is stronger than any disagreement. This is how communities are built. Families are held together by a web of shared stories. Holidays, funny mishaps, moments of pride retold again and again. These stories create a shared identity. This is who we are. This is what we value. Friendships, too, are built on the exchange of personal narratives. We become close when we learn their stories and when we trust them enough to share our own. It is the foundation of all human connection. On a much larger scale, stories unite entire cultures and nations. National myths, legends, historical accounts give us a sense of collective identity. Stories about where we came from and what we stand for. They bind millions of strangers together with a common thread. We are part of the same human family. So, the next time you hear a story, remember its true power. It is not just a pleasant way to pass the time, it is the lifeblood of humanity. How we learn, how we remember, how we make sense of the world, how we connect with each other. Share your story, listen to the stories of others. We do more than just communicate. We build bridges, we foster understanding, we weave ourselves into the grand, beautiful, and unending tapestry of the human story. And that is something truly worth celebrating. We understand each other's joys and sorrows. Stories dissolve the boundaries that separate us. They reassure us there is a pattern to the universe, that our actions matter, and that hope is a powerful force. This is the comfort of the tale. It is a safe place where we can explore the biggest questions of life and always find our way back to the light. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to InfoExplorer.